If you're looking to work out and support a great cause, Fit for Duty is for you. Join us on May 17th at the Sale House in Tarrytown at 9 a.m. for a fun morning of fitness, food, and music. Come out and join Mike Coonahan, Mike Trotter, and the Reps for Responders team for a unique experience featuring a cold plunge, a police academy-style workout, brunch, and great music. Reps for Responders focuses on improving the physical and emotional survivability skills of first responders, helping them make responsible decisions both on the job and in their personal lives. Their services support the mental health and well-being of police officers, firefighters, EMS, EMTs, correction officers, military personnel, and nurses, active and volunteer, with the ultimate goal of reducing suicide rates within the first responder community. There are ticket options to work out and brunch or just to spectate and come eat with the crew. You can grab yours at fitforduty.repsforresponders.org. If you're interested in showcasing your business, sponsorship opportunities are still available. For more information, you can find them on Instagram at Reps for Responders. This is an event you don't want to miss. So get your tickets today, and we'll see you out there on May 17th. This episode is brought to you by Whitaker Garage Doors, your one-stop shop for all things garage doors, proudly based in Peekskill, New York. Your home is a direct reflection of your personal style, and let's face it, your garage doors are the first thing people see when they pull up your driveway. Whether you're looking for the timeless charm of a classic carriage house door or the clean, sleek look of a basic wood finish, Whitaker Garage Doors offers traditional options for every taste and budget. I can personally vouch for their incredible service. When I had my own garage doors done, I was blown away by their timeliness, professionalism, and overall respect for their clients. Jonathan, Cassara, and their entire team are top-notch, and they really go the extra mile to ensure you're happy with the final result. So if you're in the market for a new garage door or need some repairs, give them a call or find them on Instagram at Whitaker_doors. Don't forget to tell them you're a friend of Dave's over at the No Snooze podcast. Whitaker Doors. You won't regret it. Now, back to the Epi. Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? I welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. I am Dave Regina, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 220. As always, I'm in the booth with only my boy today, my brother, Claudio, the voice, Valenzuela, and I am Dave, the body, Regina. No fancy bio for me, but we're back in the booth for another one. We're going to do some questies. This is something we've been trying to do now every couple weeks. So if you guys have questions, continue to send them in. You could send them via email, which some of you have done, at nosnoozepodcast@gmail.com, or my personal Instagram at Dave Reg, or the podcast page at No Snooze Podcast. Continue sending them in. Even if I answer them in the DM, we'll pull them out on the episode. So we've got some good ones for you. Happy Monday to those who are No Snooze faithfuls. It's a new week, new opportunities to put your foot on the gas, an opportunity to have a new mindset. If you had a good week last week, that's amazing. Congratulations, but double and triple down. I feel like this is a momentum month, even for myself. And you could look at this two ways. You could say, wow, I had 7 speaking engagements this month. Yeah, that's great. Clap your hands. But the reality is, if you take your foot off the gas, you can go dry for a couple months. So keep that in mind. And if you had a bad one last week, that's okay. It's an opportunity to turn over a new leaf. So we're happy to have you here, whether you snoozed on us and now you're listening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or 3 years down the line. We're extremely blessed and honored to have you. So we will get into 3 or 4 questions depending on the time frame. CV, I want to be I don't want to go any more than like 30 to 40 minutes on this one. All right, so we'll keep it short and sweet. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. By the way, I have a new nickname for you.
What is it?
The Big Preacher.
Hey!
Sorry, I forgot to change
Why
the
you
camera.
say that? Why you say that?
Because I'm noticing, let me put the camera on me. I'm noticing the more speaking engagements that you do, and the more you cool with me putting all this out?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, let's go. The more you're doing this, the more comfortable you're finding yourself in this space. One, it's the tone has changed as to how you deliver your message. And also, there's a lot more quotes from the Bible coming out in your speeches.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, the last thing that you kind of showed me or that I saw, it gave me like very like preacher vibes, man. Like you're out there like doing the sermon or whatever it is that they call it.
Listen, give me a microphone and I will give you a message. So if you are out there and you want us to come out and do a live podcast, that would be something that, CV and I would love. If you guys are looking for, me to come out and speak to your leadership team, whether you have a small business or you're a large organization, doing these keynotes is something that you're going to definitely see a lot more of. It's really because it's necessary, and I wouldn't be putting myself out there if people didn't want me to come speak. So, doesn't matter what size business or what size leadership team you have. Always reach out. And also, if you're looking for a team-based environment, me and my partner, Sean Degnan, with Action Cultivates Excellence, would be happy to come speak to your teams as well. So I think that's the housekeeping. And also, CV, to that point, man, thank you very much. You've seen the journey right from the beginning, even before the journey was an actual journey. So I appreciate you being there from day one. But also, man, I do feel this calling on my life. I feel a true calling to be of service and to share the wisdom that, I do have inside me. And I feel like God and that higher power is kind of pulling it out of me in hopes to bring more positivity to a very negative world.
I like it, man. This is do you.
Thank you, my brother.
Keep preaching, brother. Keep preaching.
Let's get into it, baby.
All right, so ready for these questions?
Yes, sir.
By the way, let me first start by saying this. Thank you so much for putting an easy question in the beginning for me, because the big hooked on phonics needs a minute to warm up.
I hear you.
And yes, here you go. That's for you. I don't even know the camera. No, the camera's a little bit low. All right, so question number 1. How do you handle people talking about you?
Yeah, so it's funny. There was a lot more to this question, but it really wasn't this was the question piece of it. So this specific person was really talking about work. But yeah, I mean, I think the reality is that it sucks. Anybody who tells you, hey, I don't care what people say, I don't care what people think, I think they're fugazi and I think they're lying. Because even when I see a negative comment, I just saw a comment on something that I posted. Some guy said, simp detected. And I just liked it because I'm like, damn, bro, like that sucks. Like whatever. But like, you gotta keep moving. I think this is also true too, right? The reality is people don't talk about people who are doing nothing, right? So the way that I'm looking at it, if somebody is talking about me, I'm probably doing something good, great, or right. And I think if this is something that you can relate to at work or your personal relationships, if they're talking about you, it's probably for a reason. They're jealous of you. They're envious of you. People do not like to talk about average people. They talk about people who stand out and are exceptional. And again, this is my interpretation, so I want to be clear. These are not facts. This is what I'm interpreting as when people are talking junk about Dave Regina. This is kind of how I deal with it. And also something I've been thinking about is no two people are the same, right? But you're very, very unique in your own journey. And whatever you're creating, whether that's content, whether it's a business, it can't be duplicated. It's almost like fingerprints. It's unbelievable to me that, and I think this is true, CV, no two fingerprints are the same. Is that accurate?
I believe that is accurate,
right?
Yes.
Like out of 8 billion people in the world, no two fingerprints are the same. So I really say that as an analogy to tell you that you're extremely unique in anything that you're doing. And if you just set your mind to it and you're focused on the actions and the positive outreach and the impact and the influence that you're making in your own life, let them continue to talk. But again, I'll be very clear and very honest with you. It does bother me too, but I do not let the negativity cripple me. It could give me a little limp, right? And I could be like, damn, like that kind of sucks. But the reality is you got to keep moving forward. And what's the saying, CV? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, baby. So keep moving forward.
Who had that saying?
I don't know. I think it's a song, bro. If you ain't got no, wait. Is that a saying? I don't know. It might
I like
be.
it though. I like it.
Is that a?
It probably is part of a song.
I think it is a rap trap
We're
song.
gonna have to chat GPT that bad boy.
Listen, I used to listen to rap a lot, and now it's like happening less and less because I have, Gyra on all the damn time. But listen, whether it's Gyra to Jadakiss, you can find me in between.
That's funny. All right, next question. If you had to choose one principle that every person, regardless of age, background, or career, should adopt in order to live a more meaningful life, what would it be and why?
Phenomenal question. I love this one.
Thank you. I worked really hard to get it out for you.
This is actually what people say in public speaking engagements as they're trying to gather their thoughts. So great question. Thank you so much for asking. I would say something is universal in my experience would be don't aim for success, but aim for significance. Success will follow significance if you're doing it for the right reasons. I think everybody, regardless of age, background, whatever, do something that's important to you, right? So that significance doesn't have to be important to the world. That word significance should be unique and important to you as an individual. I think you'll find people along the way that resonate with that same importance to them. Now, this is exactly what built Ace. And CV, you've witnessed this too, so I think you can attest. Significance and shared experience are the things that, like when I think about Ace, really helped us get to where we've been able to get to in the past like year or so. You're making people feel important, but you're also allowing them to resonate with a personal experience and something that you've been through, i.e., me speaking on a failed relationship in front of 40 men is the thing that, yes, it's important to them because maybe some of them are actually struggling in their own lives. And they're like, wow, like this dude has a shared experience with me. Or if Sean gets up and is talking about his grief process and, losing somebody close to him or how he battled anxiety and depression, the person who's going to feel that is the person that's sharing that exact experience. So I think if you lead with anything, the success piece will come. Don't aim for success, aim for significance.
That was deep.
Deep?
Significance.
Significance.
It does. It's a different perspective. You have to especially if you jump into something looking for success, you're almost like telling your brain to switch everything that you've wanted and desired and go a different path. That's why I said it's
well, the only thing that I think some people will say if you can detect if success means money to them. Because if money is the only thing that's attached to it, then they're not really going for the importance. But I think a universal thing to anybody's age is like if you're doing something that's important to you, somebody else is going to resonate with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone wants money, let's be honest. I mean,
we got to pay bills.
Sponsors, if you guys are out there, we can plug you in real quick.
Let's go.
Are you looking to elevate your brand with captivating visuals and immersive sound? Look no further than the home of the No Snooze podcast, Kai Visions Productions, your go-to destination for cutting-edge audio and video production. At Kai Visions, we don't just create content, we create experiences that leave a lasting impact. From podcasts, YouTube variety shows, sleek corporate videos, to attention-grabbing promotional campaigns, our team of experts is dedicated to turning your vision into reality. Choose Kai Visions for a production experience like no other. It's time to make your brand known. Contact us today at kaivisions@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Kai Visions. Kai Visions Productions, where audio-visual excellence meets innovation. Now, back to the Epi.
All right. Next question. You speak a lot about the importance of raising standards. In your personal journey, what was a moment when you realized you needed to elevate your own standards? I feel like I'm at that point. That last part was part of the reader, right? That put that. I feel like I'm at that point.
Oh, yeah. So it was like more a sentence because it was a conversation that was being had.
Right.
So you're just getting like a screenshot of it. So it's really about standards, right? Yeah, this is something that I've been talking about a lot. And I do think for men specifically, right, we've been discussing, we're kind of like accustomed to these like mediocre standards, whether that's working out 2 or 3 times a week, whether it's, in your personal relationships, whether it's in business, if you like, just reached a goal and, you really could have made 50,000 more, but you stopped because you just got there. I think mediocrity is a huge problem today. But my standards were, I think, extremely low of myself in previous relationships. That's a time that I could definitely identify that I felt like things needed to be done for me in order for me to then do something for somebody else. I kept score a lot. And when I realized that through a bunch of conversations with my therapist, he was like, look, you're not going to want to hear this, but that's actually the thing that's really holding you back in your relationships. Because I was like, I'll do this when, or I'll take this person out when, or you know what, I want to promote this person in business when. Like it was always attached to something else. I think this way in my fitness journey too, man. Like for a long time, I thought that I was on a path of like excellence, but the reality is my standard was low. Like, yeah, I was getting it in the gym, but then I would go to the clubs, drink, use recreational drugs. Like it was not in alignment by any means. And also there's one major statistic that stands out. I look at success now and standards now on a daily basis, not weekly anymore. Because even if you do something 5 days a week out of 7, 5 divided by 7 is 71. That's like a C or a C minus. So if you're good with a C minus in your life, then continue to show up 5 days out of the 7. But when you're trying to accomplish big things and you're trying to make real big impact and have a major positive influence in this world, the daily habits need to be daily, right? Even 6 out of 7, like that's a little bit better. What is that, CV?
It's 85.7%.
Okay.
Yes.
So if 5 out of 7 is 71%, 6 out of 7 is 85%. So we need to start looking on a daily basis versus on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. And I think if you're trying to raise your standards, and that last statement that you made, you feel like you're at that point of like wanting to raise your standards, you need to start evaluating yourself on a daily basis and not on a weekly basis.
What would you tell the person that is trying to raise their standards, maybe across the board in their life? And, there's always like different pillars that everyone has, kind of like you have yours. Mm-hmm. What do you tell that person that's starting to get overwhelmed with trying to raise too many standards at once? And I guess probably the simple answer is like focus on one, but
I was just going to say, what do you think my answer would be?
I answered my own question.
Yo, but it's real true, right? Like, so the first thing that comes to my mind is when millionaires talk. And if you talk to a lot of millionaires, it's a common theme that they have 7 streams of revenue.
Really?
As a millionaire.
Wow.
What they forget, unless you're talking to a really high level millionaire that's engulfed in like personal professional development, they explain that on their journey to becoming a millionaire, they focus on the one thing that can generate enough income so then they could save, then they could put some in real estate, then they can put some in index funds, then they can do their little side business. But the real focus and the real answer there is to double, triple, quadruple down on the one thing that's going to have the most impact in your own personal life. So I think for that, like, the pillars of my life, right? Family, fitness, finance, and faith. So depending on the time frame where I'm struggling in my life, I do have to look at those 4 and see which one I need to change the most in regards to raising my standards. I think you can focus a little bit on all of them at the same time, but for me to get to where I'm at today, I now have alignment in these things. But I had to really focus on my relationship, right? Family had to be like a major, major priority to get to where I'm at. Finances were like on the back of that. I needed God more than ever. So you need to figure out which thing in your life that's going to have the most impact to even start to think about the other things.
Hold on. How do you know how to identify that? Because like I'm listening to you to what you're saying,
Yep.
and even the 4 pillars. I don't think God was that. I don't say that important, but it wasn't. I don't think God identified. Right.
He was not at the forefront of my life.
And you had to figure that out. How did you figure out that is maybe the one that you needed to focus on the most? When I guess Dave Regina circa whatever a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, your priorities were different. How did you go through that process of figuring out what that was?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is to actually like sit down and get quiet and weigh them, right? We all need money to pay our bills, for sure. But also, I think to go through the motions, you need to be happy in life. You need to find some level of fulfillment. So I do an exercise with my leadership clients. It's called the crystal ball. And I literally pass them a fake crystal ball, right? And this is all like virtual. But I say, if you could draft the dream life 6 months from right now, what would that look like to you? And I ask them their core pillars of life, and they say, I want to change X to Y. I want to go from A to B. I want to do this to this. I want to make this much to this much. And I say, okay, now which one of those, so after you have that big picture, which one of those, if you could change today, which one would you choose? They're all important, but which one would you choose today? That becomes the most important thing that we work on. And then I scale back. So I go real hard with them on that one thing. And then we still make progress in the other areas. But if you want to make $50,000 for the year, I'll give you a formula to make 10. You know what I mean? Like I'm not putting that much importance to the 50 if you needed to get your marriage right. Or if you needed to get your relationship with your kids right, right? We prioritize the main thing and then we slowly build up the other pillars. That make sense?
Yes.
We're moving, baby.
We are. Almost read the same question over. Okay. I started a chess club over here at Mercy University, and I'm struggling to get students to come. I originally started this because I got 60 signatures of students that showed interest. What would you say to help me get these events more attended? Free pizza, baby.
You know what's hilarious, bro? No, literally the first thing that I was thinking about. One, it was Mercy University sounds crazy because Mercy College was a...
Well, do you remember our school? Our school went from being Manhattanville College.
Now it's MU.
Now it's
MU. Where you go? You went to MU? Manhattanville University.
Ironically, I've been going there a little bit in the last couple of days. I've been having some work over there. And all the signs, and maybe I shouldn't say this, I don't know, but all the signs are not all together yet. Like
they say college.
Like some of them say,
steal one.
I know that's vintage.
You should steal one.
Like it says Mercy Manhattanville University almost everywhere. But then some of the smaller signs, some of the signs that not everyone gets to see unless you've kind of been there and you know where to look. Yeah, they still say Manhattanville College. And I was like, oh, I want to take one of those.
We're OGs, bro. Yeah. Congratulations on 60 signatures, right? They said 60. That's super dope. So that means that you have interest in what you're doing. And this is a chess club, right? Something you said?
Yes, chess club.
Yeah, I still don't know how to play chess like that.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Oof, I love it. I think it's.
I play life chess, but the actual chess game, I need.
So you do play chess? You just play it on a different board.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, CV said something that I was actually thinking about just in terms of like, we do a lot of events in the community. Free pizza is a phenomenal thing. Joking aside, right? If you can leverage that, I think it'd be even better. Like maybe you partner with a local pizza shop and you tell them, look, I have 60 people and we can brand you. And if you provide free pizza for this chess club, like we'll send 60 people your way. It's great for like eyeballs and stuff like that. Or you can take that pizza idea and go ask for some funding, right? I think funding from, maybe another organization on the campus. Maybe if you went to, I don't know what that office is called. Like, not the registrar. That's where you pay your bills, right?
Student admissions.
Yeah, like student affairs or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, community relations. And if you just say, hey, like, I need funding for 60 people. Like, I don't think that's too big of an ask. But I also think there's a couple other things that you could do. I think you can make it a competition, right? If you're trying to get more people there, you already have the interest, but now it's like, okay, how are you going to like actually get them there? So you can make it a competition. You can like partner with like even the local like bookstore. You could say, hey, can you give me 5 free hoodies that I can auction off in front of my 60 people? More than 5 people are going to be like, yo, that's a fire hoodie. Even though I didn't win, I'm going to go buy it. I think you can partner with local restaurants, like we just said about the free pizza, but why not have them provide you with a free gift card that somebody can take their girl out if they actually win, right? Like, you're providing value to the restaurant or the local store by promoting them in front of your 60 people. Connection is huge. If you don't connect with people, you'll never have influence. You'll only be able to reach your full potential when you learn to actually connect with people. So although you have 60 people, most people would want to be there. The truth is you're actually not connecting with them. So I think you need to take it a little bit deeper with those connections. Have you called those 60 people after you've gotten those, 60 phone numbers and signatures to give them specifics and ask them what it is that they want? Ask them, hey, do you have any event that I can come to in exchange? Sean and I, when it comes to our networking events, right, we bring guys in, but also we go to their events. We partake in the things that they're doing because that's how you really build influence. You have to establish a deeper connection with these 60 signatures. You have a lot of people at your fingertips. But the reality is, if you just have 60 signatures and you put a flyer on the wall, yo, come to my chess event or chess tournament, people are walking right by that. You have to take the time to develop relationships and connect with them to kind of bring them in. That would be, I think, the gold of everything. If I look at my life, right? It's the connection with people, because people can really change the game for you. And the moment that somebody can actually say, wow, this person has a deeper, a deeper relationship with me versus just inviting me to an event, like actual real engagement, I think that's the piece that most people, I think, are missing here. Shout out to Yorktown Jewelers, the best in the game, serving Westchester for over 16 years. This family-owned business is built on a foundation of respect and honesty. Run by a father and son team, Myron and Mike, both men are rooted in strong morals and integrity, making them a trusted name in the community. Whether you're looking for timeless pieces or something unique, Yorktown Jewelers offers exceptional quality, a wide selection, and unbeatable pricing. When you shop here, you're not just getting great value. You're supporting a business that truly cares about its customers. For all your jewelry needs, head to Yorktown Jewelers, where trust, craftsmanship, and service shine bright. CV, I think we have one final question for the people, my brother.
Yes, let's go. This is actually a pretty funny one. At least the end got me. How have you guys, put the mic down a little bit, how have you guys been able to grow so quickly with Ace? It's been a great journey to watch, and I know I have to make it to an event still. That's nice. We're different. You guys cold plunge, and I go to Florida to play golf for the winter. I'm not gonna lie, I'm choosing this guy.
You like this, right? Yeah. Well, you know what's even funnier is I know exactly who this is, and he had a beautiful 35+ year career. So he's actually retired. Good mentor, awesome. Good friend of mine. But yeah, he's definitely out there golfing in Florida. And every time we jump in a cold plunge, he sends me a picture of his backyard in Florida. So God bless. But the question is, how have you been able to grow Ace so quickly? I think there's a lot of different things, and I don't like to just be specific to Ace. I want to make it more tangible, I guess, for anybody that's building something. But John Maxwell has a phenomenal principle of leadership. And the most effective way to grow an organization is to grow the people inside the organization. So what we've been able to do with ACE, and you need a period of time to kind of do this. For us, it's been about a year. But at first, we hooked a certain amount of people in. But we've been able to grow because other people who are hesitant about ACE are actually visualizing and seeing the transformation of those who come into our organization. We have so many guys that beat addiction, that get new jobs, that are in great relationships that were once failing, that are putting themselves out there and building side hustles and new businesses and investing in real estate and getting closer to God. And now when they get up to speak, they're sharing those stories. So I think it all comes down to community. And CV, you can attest to this, I think, from like attending these dinners and really hearing what it is that people have to say. It's to the point we don't really even talk about it too much. We kind of get up, introduce ourselves, and then everybody who's been an ACE OG, they get up and they talk about their testimony and their transformation, which continues to grow the organization, but in turn also gives that same individual who's testifying, it gives them an extreme amount of influence that they enjoy because now they're becoming experts in their field, and now they're also showing other people how they did it through ACE. So it's a real win-win, like revolving circle of there's no like just, pay the money, come to the event, and then leave. It's a continuous like revolving door of things. It's really beautiful to watch. But I think that's tangible in any walk of life, right? Like even for me, when I listen to like Ed Milet coming up on my podcast journey, you know how many people I put onto Ed Milet? I mean, I've been speaking about this man for years and years now. Like anybody that talks to me about where my mentorship comes from, I'm always mentioning Ed Milet. So I'm sure a lot of people who didn't know who he was got onto it because of how they saw my growth. And then when I'm attesting it back to him and some of the things that he was saying that influenced my life and the habits that have changed my life, I'm now growing his network, right? And I think whether it's a human being or an organization, you have to grow the people in the organization for it to grow and flourish. That makes sense?
Yeah.
How can you relate that back to like business, CV? Like even for what you're doing, I'm curious.
Well, I mean, it's been a different journey than I guess my prior career journey. So I definitely relate with it a lot. I mean, it's something that before I wasn't as keen on the networking piece and the community aspect of things. And it's ironic because I did work with community, but when it came to me personally, I never saw it as a me thing, right? It's about me. It's always been about the people that I would work for and the community that I was serving. So I always deflected a lot of attention that was either coming in my direction or even wanting that kind of stuff. I want to be behind the scenes. Whereas now, having my own business, it's different because I can't really take that back seat, because if I take that back seat, I'm going to get forgotten. So it's something that ACE has helped me with a bunch is, and this is by force, so I'm not even going to lie. You guys have really put me in that spotlight to have to almost like talk, get comfortable, and in a way kind of like put myself out there.
Promote your product.
Right. Promote what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to get accomplished. And it took the better part of my journey, just as long as ACE has been around, to even, I guess, come to terms with that and say, yes, let me do this. I need to dive into this. I need to want to go to a networking event and talk and meet other people. And I'm telling you, I'm still like awkward when it comes to like that stuff. I don't really like that stuff, but the more I've been doing it with you guys, the more comfortable I get in that setting, and the more comfortable I am kind of, talking to different people of different walks of life. And again, it's really just to get them to know who I am. That's what it is. I'm not a salesman at all. So I don't really go in there trying to sell myself. I think in my heart of hearts, I do want that. But I think what I'm trying to do is get myself in front of enough people that people know who I am, and I think that's just my personality type, and that in itself has been working a ton, and that's been giving me a little bit more confidence just to be in rooms with a whole bunch of people I don't know and be cool just to talk to them and this and that,
Yep.
So that's, I don't know, that's how I look at it. That's how it's really changed even my perspective as to like navigating those different kind of waters.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's huge to anybody out there. If you're really trying to build something, I mean, you got to get in front of people. You got to not only promote yourself, but you got to join forces with the community. And collaboration and community are way stronger than competition.
I will say this too. What I've noticed, and this is not even a me thing, this is on the other side, because I was one that didn't like going to those things, but I've noticed that people like welcome you with open arms, and they're very receptive to you, and they're super respectful as to like listening to you and hearing what you have to say, and like I said, for me, like I've gotten way more comfortable, and it's not because I've only done it like 2 or 3 times or 4 times or whatever it's been. It's really because everyone in those networking things and those community type places, they build you up. They build you up with confidence. They build you up because they listen to you. They entertain you, and before you know it, every time I go in there now, I know so many of the guys now just because I've been going for this amount of time that it is way more comfortable than it was on day one, or without having to do anything. Yep. So it's really a tribute to the community that you guys are building. That is kind of like the line that's kind of the going back to that first question. It's the standard. The standard is to go with open arms and an open heart, and be okay opening up and talking about things, but also opening yours and receiving that from whomever else is maybe going. So
I think one of the most gratifying things that we're seeing from this is people building their own communities from it, right? Like it's inspiring so many people to have their own version of what it is that they excel at. And you see what Sean and I do. We promote everybody's event. Like it's not like, oh my God, it's going to take away from Ace. We're confident enough in our own in our own gold that we send everybody. But like so many different guys have had their own like spinoffs of building their own community, and it's just that's the dopest thing to watch, because then it's really about like impact. Like you're now like something that started maybe in a room with 40 guys ends up touching thousands of lives around the surrounding area. You know what I mean? So I think that's dope. All right, that's it, right? We got a nice short and sweet one. Hopefully we stayed within the time frame that I had mentioned. Shout out to you, my brother, for getting on the camera and speaking with me.
Slowly trying to get in front of the camera a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
Before I say that, let me make sure I am on camera.
There you go.
But no, thank you, and yeah, this is something that I need to dive in a little bit more. So the networking part is one, but now getting in front of the camera is my next hurdle,
go, baby.
And I'm struggling. But
I think it makes you unique too, because a lot of people who have podcasts, the producers just kind of sit back there and run the show. Right?
Oh, it's way more comfortable back here.
Yeah,
man.
but you're a little more unique because like you have experience of over 300 podcasts where you're
right.
You're able to get in front and kind of use your voice too. Yeah, exactly. and I think people love it, man. People love to hear it. And speaking of people, we just want to say thank you guys. We're extremely blessed, grateful, and honored to have you guys listening to us. You can share this show. And again, we were a top 10% podcast on Spotify in 2024. We're looking to crack that top 5% this year at the end of 2025, and we can only do that if you share the show. Sharing the show is free. Liking, subscribing, all of that is free and really helps local businesses, local podcasts. So I encourage you guys, to whatever show you're listening to really tap in and show some support. You could even leave a positive review. We'd really appreciate that. So CV, as always, they can shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com. And until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
And send those questies in, baby.
You look a little lonely over there. You want me to come over?
Thank you guys for tuning in. That's another epi in the books. You can follow us on Instagram at No Snooze Podcast and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Shop the latest merch at nosnoozeshop.com. Come on.